Hi, I'm Alan Redinger. I'm going to show you a very simple technique for reducing a normal balsamic vinegar like you get in the store to create the effect of an 18-year-old balsamic. Now, the balsamic that most people are familiar with is actually fairly young. Real balsamic is aged, and what happens is they go from barrel to smaller barrel to smaller barrel to finally a small bottle. Those are very, very expensive. This one is not very expensive at all. It also has higher acidity because the older it gets, the less acidity it has and the thicker it gets. Like this one. This one is not very expensive, but it is much more syrupy than this one. Just look at the difference. Here's a little dab of the 18-year-old balsamic. And here's a little of the, I don't even know how old it is. A brand new one, let's say. See the difference? Now when you make a vinaigrette, or if you're going to put some olive oil with some of that balsamic in it, you really want that thick stuff. It's so flavorful and it's not as acidic. And it also keeps its body. So what I do, I cheat. And it's actually, I use a very acceptable culinary practice called reduction. I just take this balsamic vinegar, the thin stuff, and I boil it down until it's thick. I don't add any sugar, I don't do anything else to it. That's all I do. So here we go. So just set it on the stove and turn the heat on high and bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, decrease the heat to keep it just boiling slightly. You don't want it to be boiling too high because if the pan is too hot, the edges will burn. You see how it's beginning to form a really thick coat of bubbles like this? Very close. And it's coating the spoon. We're done. Turn the heat off and take it off the heat. Pour the vinegar into a container immediately while it's still hot because it'll actually get thicker as it cools. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that, coating the inside of this little pitcher, just like the real thing, except it will be a little bit more acidic. It'll have a little bit more of a bite than the one that was truly aged by years and not just reduced.